Hi, and welcome to Coatbridge High School's presentation on resilience. Everyone finds things difficult at some point in their life, and reaching a goal is never easy. That is why resilience is important, and a skill we must try to build. We're in an exceptionally difficult time at the moment. We need to be particularly resilient when dealing with restrictions and with our return to school. Whenever we face a setback in life, hearing something negative from a friend or a bad result in a test or not getting a job you applied for, we need to find ways of coping with this. Facing up to problems and challenges when using that experience to improve is an essential skill which helps you move forward in life and to fulfill your potential. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and think positively about the experience so you can move forward. In school, this may be when you perform poorly in a test, but that you recognise why it happened. Maybe you didn't study enough beforehand, or you didn't understand a particular section. And then you make sure you improve in the future. You could study more, or focus on the sections you didn't understand, and ask for help. The same may happen when you have a job. There may be a time when you do something wrong or don't meet the expectations of your employer. Accepting what's happened, taking responsibility, and focusing on improving will lead to a better outcome moving forward. There are many things that can help you become more resilient. Communicating with others is important as it allows you to get advice and talk through the issues. Allowing things to build up will only lead to negativity, and you must relieve the pressure by talking about your feelings. So if you're not coping with something, you should speak to someone you trust and feel comfortable around. A friend, family member or teacher. You will probably hear that others are feeling the same and will show you that you're not alone. I mentioned speaking to people you trust, and that is essential. Find people who you know will be supportive so that if you have a worry or concern, you can turn to them for help. We all need reassurance at times, and it has to come from someone you know will not act negatively with the information. Someone who you know will support you. A resilient person sets themselves goals which are manageable. For example, don't expect to get 100% in your first test back, or make every shot in a basketball game you play. Think about where you are and what is a realistic target, then review it and try to improve it. If you put too much pressure on yourself, it will lead to negative results and stress. This does not mean that you shouldn't care about results or outcomes. They are important, but it's more important that we learn from our results and use them positively as we move forward in life. Quite often, we can let negative thoughts take over our head and get us down. If something hasn't gone the way we wanted, it's easy to be extremely negative and upset. When we get like this, it is difficult to shake. Training our brain to be more positive has many benefits. It lets you see the best in yourself and the encouraging aspects of what you've done. To go back to the basketball example earlier, if you played a game and only managed to score with 50% of your shots, but assisted others to score a lot, then you were a positive influence in the team. Keeping that in mind and then going to practice more on your shooting will lead to you improving overall in the future. Look for the silver lining in every cloud so that your future is bright. Respect is something I speak about a lot. And while we need to show respect to others, we must remember that we owe ourselves some respect. We must be positive about ourselves and focus on our positives. When we do something wrong, and it happens to everyone, we need to remember that whatever has happened can be a learning experience, and your other positive qualities are important to keep in mind. The same applies if someone says something negative about you. Listen to what they say and then evaluate it for yourself. Don't just believe negative comments from others. Here are some useful phrases to keep in mind when next time you're feeling down or upset about something. These can help to build your resilience. So to sum up, being more resilient is a massively positive personality trait which you can work on yourself. If you speak to others when you're anxious or upset, you will realise that there are solutions and ways to move forward. You should always try to stay positive and focus on elements you can control, because then you can decide on how to react to a setback and improve. Anxiety is really scary, but it actually can be positive. If you realise that you're feeling overly anxious about something, follow the steps from earlier in advance so it doesn't grow so big it takes over. Everyone feels anxious at some point, and it can be a positive thing as it can motivate you, but when it grows too big, it inhibits your performance. Notice the signs and do something about it. And many famous people have used setbacks to move forward, and this is how a resilient person manages to improve. They see what caused them to perform poorly or to lose, and they get better from it. Instead of thinking about something being a failure, consider it as a learning experience to take forward. If you are finding being back in school difficult, you should use the resilience tips mentioned earlier. It won't be easy, and you should think about how you feel and why you feel that way, then discuss it with someone you trust to ensure you manage your experience. Remember to be resilient and seek help if needed.